Greetings, everyone. I am glad to be here, and I am glad that you are here. Today, we have another installment in our Improving at Magic series. This topic I'd originally intended to save for some, more advanced style improvements, but I've had some questions about it lately, so we're going to talk today about having a strong mental game. Now, honestly, I could talk for hours about this, I think, but as with all the videos in this series, I am trying to keep this one relatively brief. So we're going to hit some of the high points. If you do have questions about it, feel free. I would love to have a discussion about this with you. But one of the things that I find is holding, a very large percentage of players back is not their actual technical play. Not, oh, darn, I messed up with my math or something like that. It's getting inside your own head and not controlling yourself, controlling your emotions. One of the most important things to remember about, well, life in general, but specifically about games of chance and randomness, is that randomness does happen. As much as you can finely tune a deck, you still have to shuffle the cards. There will be plenty of times where victory is actually just outside your reach. That's the nature of shuffling. The very nature of shuffling means that if you are truly randomizing your cards, whether this is in paper or on a digital client, there is a theoretical chance where you will just be randomly shuffling and all 20 of your 60 or 20 lands in your 60 card deck happen to be the first 20 cards in the, in your library or whatever, that's just the nature of shuffling. There will be some draws where you just simply cannot win. That's the nature of it, right? Oftentimes that's easy for us to explain away. Well, I kept a 3-lander and only ever drew lands. Or I kept a 3-lander and never drew another land, or things like that. And so we, those ones are easy to get over a lot of the time. It's frustrating, but the ones that tend to stick with us are those mulligan decisions where, I know I should do this, but this is a really good hand. I'm going to keep this and hope to draw lands or whatever. And then the rest of the game, that decision haunts you. You knew you shouldn't have done it, and then you did it anyway. Or, I'm against the mono red deck, and, maybe I can get away with not blocking just this once. I'll be in a much better position next turn if I don't block. And then you die. Right? These decisions will weigh on your psyche, particularly if you do find yourself in a tournament or something like that where there are a series of games one after another, or you're maybe just on the ladder and you are trying to climb to that next platform. These will collectively weigh on you. You have to be able to put them behind you, even when you just egregiously punt. Maybe you did just actually do math wrong, and you had lethal, and you didn't take it, or whatever, and then you end up going and losing the game because of it. There are lots of ways of rationalizing, but one of the things that you are going to have to overcome in your game is putting those mistakes behind you. No one plays the game perfect every single game. Go and look at some of the best players in the world. Luis Scott Vargas, Paulo Vitor Damarosa, Seth Manfield, all these kind of legends of the game that have been playing for ages and ages and ages and just powering through game after game after game. They will all readily admit they make mistakes. They punt as well. Why would you be any different? Now, theoretically speaking, right, they're going to make fewer punts than you, but that isn't necessarily exclusively true. From time to time, some of the better Magic players, you might even be better than, and that could be a shock to you. One of the things that you have to advance to the next level of Magic is that strong mental game. If you make a punt rate of, let's say, 40%, and that, it's entirely possible for a pro to have a punt rate higher than you. But if they can put every punt behind them and approach each and every turn with a fresh mental game, they will have a significant advantage over you, because punts tend to beget more punts. Going with that is the idea of overcoming adversity. considering we know that there have been precious few perfect games of Magic ever played, actually, you know, there are always things to optimize. There will be adversity you have to overcome. Again, maybe you did the right thing. Maybe you did mulligan that 2-lander, and then you keep a 6-land or a 6-card hand with 3 lands in it or something. You did the right thing, but now, yeah, you're stuck not drawing lands, and it's really getting you. You need to be able to confront this situation where with an attitude of, I can still win if, and then play to those outs. It can be very, very easy to just give up, right, in those situations, and sometimes very literally concede, but also other times it's very easy to fall into the mindset of, I'm just going to mitigate the damage and keep mitigating the damage. And yeah, I mean, maybe I can just chump block here and chump block there, or whatever. But sometimes none of those plays lead to victory. They just mean you lose slower. Sometimes you've got to think about what is left in your deck, what are your chances of victory, and then try, no matter the small percentage, try to make those plays happen, right? One last tip, and this is more for climbing the ladder than it is about having a strong mental game, but obviously it is, or a tournament or something. But this is kind of just a tip on a personal level. One of the ways to avoid tilt on the ladder is stop counting your wins. When you're at Diamond 2, theoretically speaking, you only need to rank up one more time, get whatever, 4 or 6 more wins, and then you're in Diamond 1, and then 4 or 6 more wins, and then you're in Mythic. So you know what? I need to win like 8 games in a row? It happens. It absolutely happens. All the time, in fact. But not that regularly. When you start counting these wins, and you're on, let's say, 8 wins to get there, and then you lose 2 in a row, can really hit your mental game. Because now you don't have 8 wins. Now you have 10 wins, and you've already played 2 games. And then you're in your own head again, and you're, oh man, you know, I've got to win 10. And now there's a 2-land hand that's a good hand, but you know, I got to draw those lands. And now you're willing to take that chance. You're going to gamble because you're falling farther behind, and then you lose, and now you need to win 11 in a row, and you get in your own head. Don't do that. Do not count wins. If you are in Diamond, that means you were able to climb out of Platinum. You know what that means? You can climb out of Diamond. How many games? Maybe a bunch, but you can do it, right? If you're in Diamond 2 already, you know what that means? You've already climbed out of Diamond 4. You've climbed out of Diamond 3. You've climbed into Diamond 2. You will make it to Mythic, given enough games. You know you can get there, but by counting them, you're actually setting yourself up for failure. Again, go to these pro players. How many tournaments has someone gone like 16-0 or whatever to go through the whole? Oh, that doesn't happen very often. The times that it's happened are absolutely legendary. People still talk about them. No, there are losses along the way, and they're going to happen. Even in your most legendary runs, you will likely suffer a loss or two, right? So when you're just playing on your average, going 3-2 is just, that's great. That's not just fine, that's great. Because then you'll go 6-4, and you'll go 9-6, and you'll go, you know, 12-7 or something. And you are absolutely climbing a ladder. And that is not just fine, that's great. So don't beat yourself up over your losses. If anything, count your losses. Don't count your wins. Say you're just chalking one more loss up, because you're going to have some on your way to Mythic, right? Especially if you're climbing out of, you know, bronze or silver or something. You're going to have some losses. Count those. Don't count your wins. Every loss is one more loss to get out of the way. And as long as you're climbing, just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, okay. If you just can't get out of Platinum 4 and you're just stuck at Platinum, well, darn. think about changing your deck or something like that. But don't beat yourself up over your losses, particularly not if you're still climbing slowly but surely, right? So that said, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Come on back next time, and we will talk some more, tactics about improving your game. All right, thank you very much.